This is a new podcast. I am Brad Reed. I'm joined by Chip Goddard.
Hello.
This is called Jestworld.
Hey.
Hopefully the title gives you some clue as to what our podcast will be about, but it will be about Westworld mostly.
Mostly.
And then we'll also, be talking about all kinds of stuff that amuses us, I think, in a way.
Right.
Yeah.
It almost went by another name. We were really close to calling it Tangent World.
Yeah, Tangent World, because basically we sit around and go off on different tangents anyway, like just hanging out,
Right. Like, what if The Sopranos was part of Westworld? Things like that.
Yeah, because we do. We have the theory of everything, basically, which is, and I've heard this one a lot, but I feel like I invented it a long time ago, which was that Westworld is only but, just one of a many parks and whatnot. And so, like, different shows on HBO and all that kind of stuff are actually the parks, and they were all robots. Like, for instance, The Sopranos.
The Sopranos, because there's a lot of run-over characters, and who doesn't want to live the mob life?
Right. Yeah. 'Cause, like, Chip here, he wants to go on vacation. He wants to live the mob life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, and they're like, well, you get to come and do this, but unfortunately, you're the guy that got beat by the bat and thrown in the hole at the end. But you know what? It was 2 weeks of pure awesomeness.
Right. I mean, I probably got to do a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
Probably got to shoot a lot of robot people.
Yeah.
Which is, kind of what Westworld's all about.
Right.
And, yeah.
Yeah. See, I think that would be awesome. But would there be different parks for, like, if you wanted to do, like, Boardwalk Empire Gangster?
Oh,
or,
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. See how this is all tied in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to live the mob life, I mean, you want to live it during the heyday. Al Capone and Nucky Thompson and all of them.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So that, we'll have to go back to all these HBO, and I think even maybe beyond that, and start really pinpointing where we think that, okay, this puts them directly in the same world as Westworld, like different actors, stuff like that.
Yeah,
so.
like crossover actors.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we Tangent World. We also were thinking about a name like. It doesn't sound like anything to us.
That's going to be our tagline, I think.
Yeah,
that's
I think
a really
is.
good one.
I think that's a good one. So we're big fans of Westworld. Me and Chip kind of met up here at No Regrets Tattoo, really kind of hanging out. I get tattooed up here. You do too?
Yeah. When I get tattooed.
Yeah. So I think I have a few more than you do, though.
Oh, absolutely.
But you have yours in some pretty hardcore, gnarly places, like on your ribs.
Yeah. I mean, everything if I can keep them under a T-shirt. That way my mom doesn't cry.
Right. I met Chip up here, and we started talking about just different shows and stuff. Like, we both like Rick and Morty, and then we enjoyed different philosophy podcasts and videos about Rick and Morty and different things from that, and so we just go off on tangents all the time. So that's kind of where Tangent World comes in. But we ended up going with Jestworld because I think it's just a good play on words. Plus, we did a little search. And for the most part, because you really don't want like another podcast out there that already has Jestworld as a name. That would, I don't know if there's any kind of turf or, whatever rules, but
we don't want to step on anybody's toes.
Yeah. But we looked it up and saw there's a page on Facebook. Is that what you found?
Yeah, it was Jestworld Films.
Okay.
But I wasn't too worried. They had 14 followers.
Right. So, go follow them and give them a follow, Jestworld Films.
Yeah, but shout out to them.
It was also two words, which ours is just the one, Jestworld, like the show.
And, I mean, we did a quick Gmail thing right before we started this.
We did,
and we got the email.
Yeah, we do.
Jestworld@gmail.com.
Right. So, jestworld@gmail.com. When you have any of your theories or if you notice something, or hey, if we're completely wrong about something, email us. We don't care. We're down for the debate, right?
Please do. I love debate.
Yeah. Chip, I don't know for sure. I know he works in medicine of some sort because I think he might be a veterinarian or works for a veterinarian, but I'm not, because like he'll be telling me stories. Like he'll be like, "Man, this cat came in and he was cool, man. He was a real cool cat, man." And I'm like, I don't know if he means like a real cat or if he's talking about like a. So I wasn't sure.
I am a veterinary assistant at the moment.
Right.
Yeah, not where my education is, but I jumped in and help out a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
You know, when you can do things that you like to do. I mean, that's awesome.
I get paid to play with animals all day.
Right.
I mean, what better job can I do?
Right. I mean, I think it's really cool. You know, if I do some stuff that, you know, if I feel like I'm blessed to do with the podcasts and stuff, you know?
Oh, yeah. It sounds like that's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. So it's always fun to do stuff like that. So we can even edit that out if you don't want everybody to know what you do personally.
I don't care.
That's whatever. I want everybody to get to know you on a deep and personal level, Chip.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Out there in podcast land.
Right. One thing I do appreciate and why I wanted to do a podcast with Chip was because when we talk about these things, like I'll see things and I appreciate the shows and all that, but Chip will notice like some really detailed stuff, or you'll come in with some theories and stuff, and I'm like, yes, that's what we need.
Well, I have a pretty dark sense of humor and a weird view of the world, so I kind of see things a little differently than some people.
Yeah. How many times do you think you've seen the new trailer for Westworld Season 2?
Oh, God. Just preparing for this, probably 8 times each.
8 times? All right. Each, because there's 2.
Yeah, there's 2.
16 times right now, at the very least. And then how many times have you seen Season 1?
Oh, man. I've watched it at least 5 times when I'm awake, but it's also a great thing to like just sleep to.
Right. And as we keep doing these podcasts, especially before we actually get to Season 2, which comes out April 22nd, the plan is we're going to talk about, a little bit more about what we thought about Season 1 and how we got to Season 2 for sure. So, but this episode in particular, we were just going to kind of, introduce ourselves, and then we want to watch the trailer. So we're going to watch the trailer here together, and then, of course, we have to comment on it as we're going. For those listening at home, if we just played the trailer, they'd take it down. They wouldn't let us play it.
We'll give you a play-by-play.
Yeah, so here's the time where if you're listening, you should get on whatever viewing devices you can, your computer, YouTube, your tablet, whatever, and pull up, which trailer are we going to start with, Chip?
It's the original trailer to begin with, the one that has the dead tiger in the beginning.
Okay. Was that the Super Bowl trailer? Does it start with the Kanye?
No, it is not the Super Bowl trailer.
Okay. All right. So you should pull that up and watch it along with us.
Strike that, reverse it. It is the Super Bowl trailer first, then the second one.
Okay, Super Bowl trailer first. That's the one we'll watch first. And then we'll watch the second one. So if you want to watch them along with us, pull it up, and we're going to get this one going. Here, let me pull up the volume here, Chip, whenever you're ready. Yeah, so it starts with...
I believe that's the commercial for the park.
Right.
It's it's got Maeve holding their daughter's hand.
Mm-hmm.
Just some generic ranch stuff.
Yeah. And it does start with like the Kanye, but in the saloon piano style.
No, I didn't know it was Kanye. That's pretty sweet. They're already showing the bull, which was a huge thing from the first season, especially in the early episodes. The Judas calf, the Judas bull.
Right, the Judas steer.
Yeah.
Which I think would be a great name for a southern rock band.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Even it'd be kind of Christian if you wanted to do that.
Yeah.
If you wanted to do that.
Judas steer. Coming to the Chesapeake Energy Arena.
But it showed the man in black. It looks like he's actually like holding the good fight.
Yeah.
And these bulls are just wrecking house. Maeve is just walking through.
Yeah, Maeve is controlling the bulls.
Yeah, she's apparently, essentially a god. for that part now.
But it also looks like Dolores.
Okay, I'm gonna hit pause on this now.
All right.
You want?
Dolores, she looks like she's also trying to take over. So I've seen some maybe theories that they're going to be at odds with each other in season 2.
I feel like it's going to be 3 factions. I think Bernard's going to be in there.
Right, Bernard. Did you see? Okay, so some of the scenes they were also I saw like I watched a bunch of YouTube videos kind of in prep and just after, and like I say, because I feel like other people notice a lot more things maybe sometimes than I do.
Just different things.
Yeah, so, I feel like, we're not really here to say that we originated some of these things, but we're just discussing them like you would and with you, you know, follow along with us.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you want to send us emails, sending us links to videos, other theories, that's awesome. We want to see that.
But some of the things they had pointed out was like Bernard it looked like he was with some of the survivors, human survivors.
In the second trailer, it shows. I mean, we can play that now if you want, or
let's go ahead and jump into that one real quick. So so if you're watching along with us, the second trailer begins now.
Now, the player piano.
Yeah. I love those.
Oh, I'd love to have one.
Like especially that soundtrack, man, with the Paint It Black. Oh, we would play that for you if we didn't think that it would get us
sued.
Yeah, a cease and desist anyway.
Yeah.
I love when you're watching these though. We just have no idea. There could be double timelines, triple timelines.
Yeah, I mean, this is the one with the dead tiger, which is
right.
It has to come from Samurai World, Shogun World, which we'll get into in a second because it doesn't make sense.
Who was the guy hanging? Were we ever did we ever ascertain who that was?
No.
Okay, so guy was hanging from the tree.
Here's the rider.
Oh yeah,
the rider and Maeve are in the big control room. Looks like survivors are being shot down, and it looks like Teddy and Dolores.
Oh yeah, it does. So see, so they're going rogue. They're trying to kill survivors, and that could play into some of the theories that I thought I had. May have to change now.
Here's Bernard with the survivors, and see here, if you pause it, I think that's the guard, the guy that we thought died in the first season.
Which guard?
He was the only guy that carried the gun in the whole first season.
Oh yeah.
He got
was it the Hemsworth brother?
Natives. Yeah, he was the Hemsworth brother.
The little Hemsworth.
Yeah, he was the one in Thor.
Right. The one that played Thor.
The one that played Thor in the play about Thor.
Oh, I remember because we did like a on another podcast I do, Nerds to Men. We did one. And it was about one of the things that they were in, and we called him the ugliest of the Hemsworth brothers. But he was still. But the joke was because they're all so good looking. He's the ugliest.
Well, that kind of actually plays into the whole thing because the gal that's one of the owners of the company, she played Valkyrie.
Oh right,
in the newest Thor.
That's right,
and that's a crossover. And then Odin is Anthony Hopkins. So Thor is part of Westworld.
Right. Thor is definitely part of Westworld.
So does that put the whole Marvel universe in Westworld?
I mean, yeah, of course. By association, it has to.
I mean, who wouldn't want to do that for the weekend?
Oh, God. I mean, that's why they can recast at certain points because, it's just like maybe at a certain point you can pay to be Thor.
Or Wolverine.
Yeah, exactly.
Boom, new Wolverine.
We need a new Wolverine. I'm for it. People are against it. I'm for it. All right, let's.
Okay.
All right, we'll keep going.
So Bernard's in a.
But yeah, we still. It's just you never know what timeline they're in.
Yeah, Bernard's in a dune buggy. See, if you look right here.
Yeah.
That could also be the gal that disappeared season 1 that he killed. Mm-hmm. The other programmer.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
His assistant. So this could be a whole flashback.
Right.
Man in Black.
Yeah.
With just like putting the hat on, covered in blood, and just the hint of a smile right before we go out.
Which Yeah, because he was the one in season 1 who wanted it to be real so that the game actually counted for something. You know, it wasn't a real win if somebody didn't lose, basically.
Yeah, he's
so
the
killing
ultimate
a bunch
gamer.
of robots wasn't necessarily giving him a thrill. You know, he wanted to actually maybe have the chance that somebody could kill him before he felt like he actually overcame death to win. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
that's just being rich.
if you're a gamer, he's maxed at his stats and he can't really do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. When you have that much money, you can be like, you know what? It doesn't matter if I can't get killed doing it.
He bought all the DLC.
Yeah. That's funny. But he was is he related to? And man, I can't remember her name now.
He's William.
Right.
Are you talking about the chick that played Valkyrie?
Yes.
I don't know. See, they haven't mentioned any of that. I believe. I mean, my personal belief is that he is her uncle. She's Logan's kid.
Yeah. Because it seems like I can't remember. There was a time when they came across each other, and did she call him uncle or? I mean, I've seen this season like 3 or 4 times now for different shows, but
I haven't watched that episode that as recently.
We'll
as
look
others.
into that a little bit more then
But
as we
it's
go.
when she cuts him down from being hanged,
So there's a couple other things that
which is the only correct way to use hanged.
Yeah.
Hanged by the neck until you're dead.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad that Chip is here to let us all know that that's how you say it.
Word of the day.
But you spoke of Logan. There was a scene where he was in a party where all the hosts were frozen. Did you catch that one?
Yes.
So do you think that was before or after the events of the first season? I think it was before.
It's got to be before. It's got to be like a party that he staged for himself or he staged for something.
Maybe it was like a sales type deal where they were like, "Hey, come to this party. Come alone." It's a high, this is a high
investors thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so they bring him in and he's at the bar, he's hanging out with everybody, and then all of a sudden freeze. And he's like, "Oh my God." And he's like, "Oh, well, yeah, I want to pay $40,000 a day to, hang out with these robot people and, do all the debaucherous things he likes to do with them." But I guess before you lay down that kind of dough, you want to see it in action, maybe, something like that. Who knows?
I mean, who would want to do that for an investor party though? It'd be like having hookers,
Yeah, basically.
But they're better than hookers because you could literally do whatever you want with them.
Yeah, the whole room, like the possibilities are endless. But
not saying I have ever enjoyed hookers or anything. It's
right.
Yeah.
But then that'll bring up a whole philosophy topic of whether the robots should have consent and hookers should even hooking be legal. We could talk about all kinds of tangents.
Yeah,
and that's what we plan on doing.
But that's definitely a road we don't want to go down.
Maybe not on this one.
One.
Sure. We'll take the high road. How about that one?
But as far as Westworld and whether or not they deserve rights, definitely check out a Wisecrack video, The Philosophy of Westworld.
Right, yeah.
It's really, really good.
Yeah, I love Wisecrack and I feel like, okay, let me just say I study philosophy at UCO here in Oklahoma. And I feel like every teacher should probably have their students watch these Wisecrack videos because they show you the philosophers and where to find maybe their writings and but then they put it in a relatable way as Rick and Morty or Westworld, stuff like that. So you should definitely watch these and learn about the philosophy that these. I mean, because the writers of these shows, they must have studied philosophy or think about philosophy. I think
absolutely. I mean, Westworld is full of philosophy, and ethics and morals and whether or not we should and shouldn't. And it's deep.
Yeah. And that's why those are the kinds of shows I really like. I think J.J. Abrams, he's one of the producers of Westworld. A lot of his shows and a lot of his movies, I think, have a tone, a philosophical tone. And Philip K. Dick, he wrote a lot of books that ended up becoming sci-fi movies. Like Blade Runner and Scanner Darkly and stuff like that. And, he was big into philosophy. So
didn't he also do the do Sheep Dream?
Yes.
Yeah, do Robot's Dream of Electric Sheep or something like that?
Yeah. I think that was the one that Blade Runner was based on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so, that's the kind of stuff that I get into, and I like when I find these shows like Westworld and stuff. But even with you never watched Lost, right?
Nope, never got into it.
See, J.J. Abrams had something, I think he was one of the creators of Lost and produced it. And there's a lot of things that I notice, I see a little parallel. Like Lost could have been another one of these parks.
Yeah.
And, that if you go to the West, or not, it's not Westworld, is it, what's the website?
Some people smarter than I am found all the clues on the Westworld website.
Oh, it was on the Westworld website.
And then it led you to the Delos Corporation website. You can Google it and find it way faster than that now. But they listed 6 different parks. Westworld, all the other ones are blanked out, but I mean, we obviously saw one in the finale, the S-World, whatever that stands for. Is it Shogun World or Samurai World?
Right.
Which, if you want to get into now, we can. How that park doesn't make sense at all.
That's what some of our friends around here have talked about. Did you introduce that, or
Travis?
Travis did. Our friend Travis Griffin. He doesn't understand how you could use the swords, right?
Yeah, like the technology, with the bullets.
Right.
When it hits not a host, but a guest.
Right.
It's essentially like a paintball. It just pops, and maybe it's probably even less because.
Yeah, they don't really seem to. Yeah. Paintballs can sting.
But and then with the host, it hurts them.
Right.
There has to be some physics, some mechanic in that they're made of something that reacts to the bullets.
Yeah, maybe the swords are more like holographical, but when it hits a robot, it looks real. Who knows?
I mean, because come to the park, get beat to death with metal clubs. That
yeah,
or beat with metal clubs. That sounds a lot of fun.
But so that brings me to some of the other parks that must exist. There's at least 4 other parks.
Yeah, in the old movie, which was great, had Josh Brolin's dad. I want to say Jake Brolin, but it's not Jake Brolin.
No, James Brolin?
James Brolin.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting about his dad? He looks more like the father of Batman, Christian Bale.
He does.
Then he looks like James Brolin's dad.
In that one, there was Medieval World and Roman World.
Okay,
and Westworld. And then in the sequel, there was Future World.
Right.
But
the sequel let's back up then, because there was the Westworld movie.
Yeah.
And that came out back in the 70s?
Yeah, I want to say right around like 77 or something. Michael Crichton.
Michael Crichton wrote it. Right. And it wasn't like he didn't write a book for this one, right? It was just a movie.
Yeah, just a movie.
And
just
then
a script.
Later on in the 80s, they had a sequel.
And they tried to make a show, but the show never really took off. Back to the original movie, it's just a phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
I have many great memories watching that with my dad.
See, it's actually a movie that I had not seen until the show came out.
Okay.
I remember hearing about it, but I don't know why I never watched that one. Because I was into movies like The Terminator and stuff like that. So Westworld would have probably been up my alley. I just never got around to watching that or never saw it.
Yeah, Yul Brynner, the original Terminator.
Yeah,
with that cold, icy stare.
Yeah. So it is good, but the sequels. What would you say? Pass on those, or were they any good? I never saw those either.
I mean, the sequel had a pretty good plot. They started replacing in Future World. They started replacing political dignitaries from all over the world with copies, so they could. I mean,
oh yeah, that's right. Which is what's happened to us. I'm pretty sure, right?
I mean, reptiles. Lizard people.
The lizard people. Oh my gosh.
Like the queen.
Now let's go off on that tangent. See, I do like to do that. I like to rabbit trail on YouTube. I got into, just a couple weeks ago, I got into the videos about CERN and how smashing the atoms, or what are they smashing over there in the collider.
Yeah, smashing particles together.
Particles, yeah. How it can open up other dimensions where monsters or the old gods. but you watch all that stuff, and then you watch like sci-fi stuff that's coming out now, like
Cloverfield
Paradox. Yeah, you're like, it's like, yes, I loved how they based it off of that, basically theoretical physics or something, and I loved it. So there was a little tangent about Cloverfield, basically. Did you watch the Cloverfield Paradox?
Oh yeah.
We may need to do like a separate podcast on that because it was pretty dope.
No, that's all part of Westworld too, man.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Because of the Michael Crichton tie-in, I have to say Jurassic Park's got to be one, because who wouldn't want to go to a Jurassic Park?
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of Easter eggs in the first season. We'll get to those when we start breaking down those episodes. But
yeah,
at one point, I think it is Sylvester. You had him on your Nerds to Men podcast.
Oh, Leonardo Nam?
Yeah,
we did have him on.
When he's fixing the little broken bird, he uses the same language that that John Hammond used when he's hatching the raptor egg in the first movie.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Did you find that yourself on there, or did you look that one up? Because you found some of them on your own, I know.
That one I read about.
Okay. Yeah. What's some of the ones that you found that you were telling me about? Do you remember?
Man, I honestly don't remember.
See, that's why, like, I always forget, but now I have to pull out my phone and like start making notes for podcasts. You know what I'm saying? Because I always think about these things too, and then I'll be like, oh, I think I've texted you and be like, what was that name we came up with? Or yeah. So when I ask you something and you don't know, here's what we'll do in the future. We'll be like, that doesn't sound like anything to me.
That doesn't sound like anything to me. Perfect.
Yeah. I love this show though. It's just got so many layers to it. I feel like because there was all the mystery in the first season, where if you weren't kind of reading about it on the internet, you'd be totally lost.
Oh yeah, if you thought it was all one continuous timeline.
Yeah.
Speaking of timelines, last season there was a wonderful fan edit out there or several fan edits, but they put everybody's story in one like linear path.
Oh right.
So it was like Young William, and it would give you an hour and a half of Young William, and it was essentially a movie of how he progressed that whole first season.
Right.
They did them for everybody, but now I can't find them.
Oh, you think it was because they probably were unlicensed, maybe, or not free to post them, basically?
Yeah.
I love fan edits, though.
Oh, it was wonderful. I showed them to everybody I found.
I want to do like a fan edit of Suicide Squad, where it's just like the Joker.
It's good?
Yeah.
Where it's not
impossible.
Where it's not a 2-hour-long trailer.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Yeah. Well, that's another tangent we go on from time to time, talking about Suicide Squad.
We're haters. I mean, let's just be honest here. We kind of hate on stuff, but we're fans. That's what we do.
So we've kind of talked about some of the parks we'd like to see, and also some of the ones that, we gave you a brief taste of the ones we'll be talking about in the future that we think are in the same world. But realistically, in next season, what do you think the other parks that we'll see will be? Or do you think we'll see any of the other parks, or will they kind of just stick to Westworld?
I'm pretty sure I saw an article the other day that they're not going to follow in with like the ones from the old movie.
Uh-huh.
So if I were building a park like that, I would do genres.
Right.
Like horror park, if you want to go survive a zombie apocalypse, or they already have a West park. You could do like a pirate park, or
yeah, definitely like a Pirates of the Caribbean. That could be, in the same.
I would love to do that. That would be awesome.
Yeah, it would be awesome. I mean, so that it's endless, the possibilities.
Well, the guy that played Al Swearingen, who was also in Game of Thrones. So, Deadwood could totally be in the Westworld park.
That's true.
And a lot of people think Game of Thrones is in there too. So
yeah, definitely. True Blood. Did we mention True Blood? Like you mentioned a horror park, but
sorry, he was in. Our other guest, our guest is knocking over stuff. It's my dog Boris.
Yeah,
today.
Boris is here.
Boris, lay down.
He's a good dog.
He is a good dog. He's a little interested in things right now. Lay down.
Yeah, totally. That's understandable. He's like, what's going on?
Good boy.
Is this a badass podcast going on over here? Because I want to be a part of it. We should mic him up next time.
You should.
But yeah, like, or even just a world where you're getting chased by Jason. That'd be awesome.
Like a Walking Dead world would be cool. A Freddy Krueger world.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how cool Freddy Krueger world would be. It'd be pretty scary.
Well, yeah, and it'd be pretty. I mean, then that's messing with your brain.
Yeah,
that's not cool.
I don't like to go sleepless. Like Jason, at least you can maybe get out of the lake and
it's
you're
cardio.
Good. Yeah, you're right. It's cardio. Plus you and the other camp, people are getting it on. Just
Camp
like
Crystal Lake sex workout camp.
Right. Yeah. Because it only takes one of my friends to get killed, and I'm out of there.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to hang around for any of that.
No, and I mean, I can't run that fast, but I'm pretty sure I can just run in a straight line down a road.
But, like I say, Vampire World sounds awesome.
Yeah, True Blood World, again, have sex with vampires, werewolves.
Yeah, totally. Have sex with everything, basically.
I mean, that's if you've been watching HBO...
that's where they're going.
That's the way they do things.
There's some pretty interesting things coming in season 2, I think. It's hard to nail down any of it right now just off the trailers because just judging off of how season 1 went, you're never going to be totally sure until you start matching some things up.
Yeah. I mean, you probably will get to the last episode before you can figure out what timelines are what.
Right. Yeah. But I loved it. I loved all the actors in it. Anthony Hopkins in anything I'll watch.
Oh, yeah. And they're bringing a larger cast. The guy that plays Floki on the show Vikings is going to be on next season.
Yeah.
He's going to be, I think, a sheriff.
Vikings world. I mean, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Again, if you watch the show Vikings, it's pretty much sword fighting and sex.
Yeah. I just started Vikings. My brother watched it. And then you've told me about it, and so I started watching it. At first, I was like, the first episode, It was almost like Game of Thrones. I didn't get into Game of Thrones until after like a few episodes, and now I was sucked in. Same things with Vikings.
It took me a really long time to watch that all the way through after the first couple episodes, just because it just dragged on, and it felt like it was forced. Mm-hmm. But then you just got to realize that it's on like the History Channel.
Yeah,
they're trying to make it historically accurate as possible.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like it's a pretty good show.
So there's Vikings because there's a little bit of time. April 22nd, right? Is when it comes back. There's a little bit of time. You got any other recommendations of anything you're watching right now?
I'm actually just about to finish up watching Spartacus all the way through.
Oh,
again.
Nice.
I really like it. Really, can't remember the first actor, but he actually died.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the first actor that played Spartacus. It's a crazy story. He was doing the physical for season 2, and I mean, looked like he was in great health. But then they're like, "Oh no, you have some horrible cancer." I think it was like lymphoma.
Oh wow!
And so they filmed another season, like a prequel season, that didn't have him.
Yeah,
and he expired.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I haven't seen any of that. What network is that on? Do you know?
I think it was on Showtime. It's not.
Okay.
They're not doing it any longer.
I got you. You're catching up.
Yeah.
All right. I've been watching this show on Netflix. It's called Dark. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
It takes place in Germany, and it's actually overdubbed in English, but I didn't like that, so I put it on to where it was in the native German, and then it had the subtitles. So, and I felt like I liked it better. Plus, the voice acting, it comes directly from the actors themselves. So, but it's a lot like it takes place either in modern times or not too distant, from our modern time.
Okay.
But it's a lot like I'll just I'm only 2 episodes in, but it already feels a lot like Stranger Things in one aspect, but not as sci-fi monstery, like that. But there's a little bit of a supernatural element to it. I'll just say that.
Cool.
It also takes place when there's a missing child. But if you've been watching the Cloverfield Paradox, there could be like some time travel / dimension travel going on. There's a lot of possibilities right now. But I dig it. And so I'm watching that right now, and I'd say, hey, if you're looking for something to watch, that one so far has been pretty good.
As long as you're into like superhero movies and stuff out right now, I would definitely recommend a show called Powers.
Powers.
It had the actor from District 9. Great show.
Okay.
Like, it pretty much like world we live in now, except it was like X-Men kind of. People
nice.
just have powers.
Right.
And it's accepted that people have powers.
Right.
But kind of neat. You should really like it. Eddie Izzard's in it.
Yeah.
He's the main villain in the first season.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I've seen something about that one. Do you happen to know where they can find that one? I mean, you usually by Googling anything.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Where do you kind of watch most of your stuff? Are you like a Hulu or Netflix or the dark net?
It's not the dark net; it's like the gray net. But yeah, you can find pretty much anything out if you just search Put Locker.
Yeah.
Plus the movie you want to watch.
See, it's because I got a Fire Stick, and I always feel like I'm doing something illegal, but I always feel like also that I'm not the one who put it out there.
Yeah.
I'm just streaming it.
I mean, it's not going to be saved on my computer.
Yeah.
I don't.
Art needs to be seen.
Yeah, I don't feel terribly guilty about it. I pay for movies in the theater.
And some may argue that if you're not observing it, it doesn't even exist.
Exactly.
So I'm causing the existence.
Schrodinger's movie.
Yeah. We'll end on that great nugget of philosophy there. How about that?
That sounds great.
Okay, so here's the deal with this podcast. We're going to keep doing some, at this point, I'm not sure, it might be bi-weekly, but the next one we're going to start with, like, the season 1. I
think probably like the first 3 episodes.
The first 3 episodes. So if if you're just now listening to our podcast and you're like, man, I ought to check out Westworld.
Yeah.
Start with 1 through 3, and then we'll do another episode where we kind of recap that and talk about the things that we found and maybe some of the things that we came across in our research.
Yeah. I mean, homework assignment, guys. Come on.
Yeah. But we'll be on Facebook. We'll probably have a Spreaker channel and a YouTube channel. Right now we're not doing a lot of video, but we may.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely put the podcast up on YouTube that way, because a lot of people still just listen to the audio version. So.
Right. I mean, when I actually YouTube most stuff, I just listen to it in the car.
Yeah. So, Facebook page, we'll have one by the time you hear all this, and keep going from there. We'll add some more stuff and see how it goes.
Yep, we're gonna set up a Facebook page with what are we gonna call it?
Well, I guess we'll have to make sure that it can match our Gmail account, which will just be Jestworld.
Yeah, one word.
Or it may end up have to be Jestworld OKC. Well, we'll probably have to update you on that. But most likely you'll be coming to this from there anyway. Mm-hmm. So we'll figure that out by the next show for sure. But we'll kind of have to see where we're at with, who was the other one?
Jestworld Films.
Jestworld Films. So, hey, and we're shouting them out. So I feel like we're doing them a
friend
service.
them, like them.
Yeah. It's funny.
Good relations.
I think back to, I used to have a band called Killer Gandhi, right? And I remember, I would search, just to see if anybody was talking about the band or anything. And I found, another band, I think they were from Texas or something. They're called Gandhi's Hospital. And somebody had posted a link to our band on their page. And, somebody got on the page, and, one of the guys in that band, he's like, yeah, Killer Gandhi, that's a stupid name. I like their page and stuff because I was trying to be nice.
Yeah,
they're like, stupid name.
But yeah, we're let's get those likes up on them. We're gonna keep an eye on them.
Yeah, if we could get more than 14 likes, that would be dope.
Yeah, let's do this, guys.
But
so 2 homework assignments over our break.
Yeah. Let's help them out, and then they'll be happy with us. They'll be like, they're a cool podcast.
Maybe we'll let them, I don't know, be a guest or something.
Hey, I'd be down.
Yeah.
If, hey.
You guys like Westworld?
Yeah, and they might be like, well, we were just thinking, a world of jest. It doesn't have anything to do with Jestworld. It's just, how great would that be? Might not be that good, though. You might sometimes be like, I just want to take something serious. On that note.
All right. Well,
thank you, Chip.
Yeah. Thank you, Brad.
All right.
Boris,
we'll see you next time.
you have a good night.
Yeah, Boris.